Hi everybody, happy Friday. I thought I'd come online on Instagram and I will post this later on my Facebook page as well. I know it's been a while since you've seen my face. There's been a lot going on in my personal life and life just happens. Anyways, thought I'd take this opportunity right now because I'm making my boyfriend's grandmother a balm made from essential oils that will help her joints. She's suffering a little bit from arthritis and things like that, and this will be able to help support her and provide her a little bit some relief. It's from my favorite DIY book called Oil and Glass right here, and what I'm making is what they've called Joyful Joints Balm, and really simple. It's made from cold pressed organic coconut oil. And so if you're not aware, cold press is actually the solid form, and actually what you probably see most often here, which you'll find a lot of times is used in cooking and baking. There is also actually the fractionated form of coconut oil, which means it's actually the liquid form and it stays in its liquid state. So I'm actually going to be making this double the recipe because I want to make sure that she has enough so she can apply it liberally to where she feels the most that her body needs it. So the recipe actually calls for a half a cup of cold pressed coconut oil, and you can see here I actually have a full cup. I've already put it into my measuring cup right here because I actually was getting low on my coconut oil and I didn't want to have to go back and find another container of coconut oil. So that's what I have here. You just put it in a bowl. I have a really perfect size glass bowl that I use to make all my DIYs, which is whether it's like balms like this or if it's sugar scrubs, which it's another favorite DIY that I like to make to help moisturize and keep your skin looking healthy. So anyways, it says to actually just fluff it up with a fork or a mixer. I actually just use a spoon that I use to put the coconut oil in the measuring cup, and you just have to fluff it up. And just what I do is I just kind of, chop it up a little bit, stir it, and what's going to happen is you're going to get kind of a little bit of a fluffier consistency. Let me just get a little bit more here. So kind of give you an example. As you probably know, as being an oil, the solid form of coconut oil will start to melt at higher temperatures. So pretty much, anything above 75 degrees Fahrenheit is where you'll probably start seeing this solid form starting to liquefy. So if you live in a warmer climate or it's summer, temperature starting to rise, I would store this in your refrigerator. Just keep in mind that when you do store it in your refrigerator, it's going to get actually really solid. So it's going to be very hard. So I would take it out of the refrigerator probably maybe 30 minutes to an hour before you want to use it to see if it will start kind of softening up a little bit so you're able to start using this. Okay. So the essential oils that I'm going to be putting in here are copaiba, lemongrass, panaway, which is actually an oil blend, marjoram, ginger, and frankincense. Those are actually all the essential oils that are called for in the recipe. As I said, I'm going to be doubling the recipe. So the original recipe pretty much says to put 12 drops of each of those essential oils, and then because I'm doubling it, I will actually be putting in 24 drops in total for each essential oil. I'm actually going to be adding another essential oil just because I've read some of my Facebook groups and some of my resources that wintergreen is actually really a helpful essential oil to help with providing support for those aches that you get within your joints, and actually it's one of the main ingredients in the Panaway blend. So let's go ahead and add my drops. Okay, so that was a little bit longer than it took to get it all. So that was 24 drops of Copaiba. So remember, the original recipe calls for 12 drops for each essential oil, but since I'm doubling the recipe, I am putting 24 drops in. Lemongrass is actually another one. You'll find this actually another balm that I like to make out of this DIY book, Oil and Glass, is called, it's just a muscle rub balm that helps provide support. Ooh, it smells, I love the smell of lemongrass. To, you know, sore muscles if you've been very active, or, you know, say it's like a big day of moving. Lemongrass is actually another one that is called for in that recipe. You'll find that when you drop essential oils into, whether it's whatever you're making in your, if you're just doing it straight in your hands, or you're making DIY such as this, that some essential oils come out of the bottle quicker than others. These are pretty standard, I would say. The fastest oils I find that come out of this the bottle will be usually citrus oils. And just to kind of show you, it might be a little bit hard to tell here, but a trick to know about essential oils is that the oil actually doesn't come out of this spout here. This is actually just kind of a little bit of an airway for the air to come into the bottle. And then usually around, you can kind of see there's kind of this indentation around that. That is actually, if you look around, it's going to be really hard to show online here, but there's usually a little pinprick hole, and that's actually where the oil comes out of the bottle. So if you find that whether an oil comes out a little bit too fast, you don't have to like tip it directly in that direction. You can kind of turn it a little bit, so then it's a little bit slower. Or if an oil is slower, you don't see any oil kind of pooling to drop out, that's where you kind of turn it to see where it will start pulling and drop it out of the bottle. Okay, so Panaway actually came out pretty fast. You probably saw there that it was a lot quicker. It didn't take me as much time to drop in those 24 drops. And just to let you know, as I said, it's a blend. And on the bottle, you can always tell like what's the ingredients in. So this has wintergreen, which I mentioned before, as a main ingredient, helichrysum, clove, and peppermint oil. A lot of times I actually just apply Panaway directly onto an area where I feel soreness, whether it's muscle soreness or if I feel my joints need a little extra support. It's always recommended to dilute essential oils if you have sensitive skin or it's the first time. And Young Living essential oils are 100% pure. It's the first distillation that is put into the bottle, so there's not iterations of the essential oil, the distillation, so which would make the oil weaker in its effects and effectiveness. So some oils are considered hot, such as clove, peppermint, which are listed here. So it is recommended to put into carrier oil, such as whether you have olive oil, which I think most of us probably have some olive oil in our kitchen, or I use technically, the most I use usually is fractionated coconut oil or grapeseed oil. Hi, Marion. How are you? Again, just do a test. Maybe it's like behind your hand or on your wrist if you've never used Young Living essential oils, again, because they are very, very pure and strong. So much stronger. Hi, Rita. Much stronger than you would get at such as Target or Whole Foods, because what tends to happen is that those essential oils are other distillations down the process, so they tend to be about weaker and not as strong, so you may not get the same effectiveness out of it. So anyways, I just put in 24 drops of Panaway. And then next we have marjoram. This is actually a new bottle of marjoram. I think I got it for free last year sometime, and I never opened it. It smells very lovely. And all of these essential oils that I'm putting into this balm are known to help with providing relief. Sorry, I found out if I talk and I can't count at the same time. Oh, Maria, hi, sorry, thank you. All these essential oils are known to help provide support, whether it's muscle soreness or in this particular balm that I'm making specifically to help with some joint soreness. So I just put in 24 drops of marjoram. Again, the original recipe calls for 12 drops of essential oils each, and I'm doubling it because I'm doubling the recipe. So next we have ginger. I love actually cooking with ginger. This is Ginger Vitality. So you'll notice that this color label is white versus the other essential oil bottles I've been showing have been a colored label. The only difference about this means that this is signified that you're able to ingest this essential oil. So I have other essential oils here also with the white label: cinnamon bark Vitality, basil Vitality, oregano Vitality. I don't have a version, oh I do here. So there's also peppermint Vitality, and then I also have here peppermint. So they have a green label and a white label, and as I mentioned, the white label means that it's regarded safe for ingestion. It's exactly the same peppermint oil, whether you see it in a green label or a white label. Again, the white label just states that this is safe to ingest. And I actually ingest peppermint oil quite often. I add it to my coffee, and I add it to, I use it as a replacement of breath mints or gum. I actually don't chew gum or eat breath mints anymore. Okay, so there are the drops of ginger. And the last one, the second to last one is frankincense that I'm going to add. So, okay. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, some of you who may join might not have heard that, but I actually am adding wintergreen. So I'm not going to add 24 drops of wintergreen since I already added 24 drops of the Panaway, which again, Panaway has wintergreen in it. I'm just going to add, I think I'm going to add probably about 10 drops of it. So 10 drops of the wintergreen. And again, I'm just adding it just kind of get a bit extra boost in the balm itself. And actually, I forgot to mention at the top that copaiba, which I added first. I am making a balm, Mariah. It's called a joints balm. So I'm actually making this for my boyfriend's grandmother, who mentioned that she's kind of suffering and having some aches and pains from arthritis. So this balm is going to help provide her with a little bit of relief and support. And so what I did, which you probably missed at the beginning, is I added cold pressed coconut oil. So it's the solid form of coconut oil. You can see here, this is the, once I've stirred in the essential oils. And what I did after I added the coconut oil to the bowl is I kind of chopped it up, stirred it around a little bit, so it kind of started to look like it was in this fluffy consistency here. And then I added the essential oils that I'm sure you saw me doing. Again, this is double the recipe that's in the book that I'm using. The book that I use had half a cup, and I added a full cup of coconut oil because I wanted to double it up to make sure she had enough to be able to apply liberally wherever she feels that she needs the most support. I wish you all can smell this. It's really, really lovely. So after you stir it up, get all the essential oils that you added to the coconut oil incorporated. You just add it to mason jar. So this one, again, because I'm doubling the recipe, this is a bit bigger than what the recipe calls for. The recipe actually says a 4-ounce mason jar, which essentially would be half the size of this. You can get mason jars at Target. You can find them on Amazon. I actually find that I like to get them at Target. They're slightly cheaper than what I found on Amazon, and I usually find all the different sizes. This size, which is the 8-ounce jar, is a size I use a lot. I do use 4-ounce jars quite often, and I actually also get I think it's the 16-ounce, which I'll use more when I'm making like bath salts. I tend to go for the bigger jars here. So okay, I added all my essential oils. Again, this is the consistency. Again, with cold pressed coconut oil, with it being the solid form, it is an oil, so as it heats up, it will start to liquefy. So again, if it's starting to warm up in the area you live, or you just live in a warmer climate in general, anything above 75 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to see that the cold pressed coconut oil will start to liquefy. So it's best to keep it in a refrigerator or somewhere really cool so it doesn't do that. And then if you do keep it in the refrigerator, I would recommend taking it out maybe 30, maybe even 40 minutes to an hour before you want to use it, because when you do put it in the refrigerator, it gets really, really solid. Like you can't like get a spoon. It's really difficult to get in there. So I would like set it out before you want to use it so it softens up a bit, and then you should be able to apply it where you like. It will feel, you know, a little bit greasy when you are, again, it's oil, but one of the things I love about coconut oil, and where you probably will find, you know, if you're used to or if you've done some reading about coconut oil, whether it's the cold pressed form or the fractionated form, which the fractionated form means it just stays in its liquid state, and I use that form a lot quite often when I'm making rollers with essential oils. So I kind of have a version of this that I actually do make in a roller that I kind of carry with me when I go work out. And so if it's, especially if it's the first time I've worked out in a while and I know I'm going to be really sore, I'll apply that, you know, wherever I feel that I've kind of worked out the most. So put it in the jar here, kind of wipe it off a little bit so it's not so... Sorry about that. Looks like my Wi-Fi cut out a little bit, so I'm not sure where exactly it's at, but I put it in the jar here, as you can see. What did I make Grandma Lois? I think you're talking about this last Christmas. I think I made her the bath salts. So what I made her was a jar with, actually I have it right here in front of me because I was thinking about making some for myself, is with Epsom salts. Here, I have a big thing of Epsom salts here. And I believe I also had it in there, I used peppermint tea, which I just kind of gave her a little color there. And then I added peppermint oil, lavender essential oil, and eucalyptus radiata essential oil. And yeah, that's what I made her. And Epsom salts are really great to use to soak in the bath. Epsom salts are known to help with just, you know, pulling out toxins, helping against inflammation. So it's a really great bath soak to use. And then lavender and peppermint and eucalyptus are really great essential oils to kind of help with that relaxation, as well as the peppermint and eucalyptus especially I added, given that it's, you know, well, here in California it's a very nice sunny day, and I think it's probably in the mid-60s today in San Francisco. But I know in Minnesota, for example, I believe there was some recent snow. So I believe they're still in a winter season right now. So the eucalyptus and the peppermint will help open up the passageways. And it's just a lovely combination all together. So that's what I made my grandmother for Christmas. So yeah, so this is the Joyful Joints Balm. Again, I made it out of my favorite DIY book called Oil and Glass. There's a lot of different recipes I get from here. This is just one of them. The bath salts that I mentioned is one of the recipes I've gotten from the book. I made body sugar scrubs from it as well, which is really great to help exfoliate and soften your skin. And you can have a lot of fun. Well, you can do the same with bath salts with any essential oils you want to add, whatever, you know, suits your fancy. So that's what I made. I'm going to kind of pull this together and kind of like wrap it up a little bit to be able to send it off in the mail today to Justin's grandmother, and I think she'll really appreciate that extra support. Just a reminder, for the rest of the month of February, which is the end of the month, there is a special Welcome Home starter kit, which I will provide in my stories later today, so keep your eye out for that. And if you have any questions or anything, please feel to message me, and I would be more than happy to help answer any and all questions you may have, specifically about essential oils, what I use essential oils for, how I have made my switch to a more natural lifestyle with essential oils and other plant-based products. So again, happy Friday, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.